Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Against the Public for July 28th. I'm Dana Lane. Today, we're going to go through my top 3 Major League Baseball free plays. And, of course, we swept the board again on Saturday. I hope to do that on Sunday. We'll wrap up the show by breaking down interleague numbers as suggested by one of our good friends of the show. Some interesting results that I want to make sure that we get to you as the season rolls on. After the show, please go to Pickdawgz.com. I'll have my premium Major League Baseball plays locked and loaded for Sunday. Another winning day on Saturday. We're going to hope to keep that, or we hope to keep that going on Sunday as well. Jump on my single plays or my Major League Baseball 3-pack for just $49.99. And of course, those single plays and the 3-pack always come with our Pick Dawgz win guarantee. In addition, there's only one way to get every play I release, and that's to become an all-access member. And you could do that for the next 30 days for less than $11 a day, the next 90 days for less than $10 a day, or better yet, jump on that Christmas and July special. Every play I release for 365 days, for the next 365 days, for just a little over $3 a day, $3.02 a day, gives you every play, takes you right through the NFL season, college football, NHL, NBA, college basketball, and right back to this point, this time next year in Major League Baseball. So make sure you do that. Exhibition season is starting next week. I am more than excited for that to take place. In fact, what are we, 5 days away from the Hall of Fame game, Houston Texans against the Chicago Bears. Bears minus 1.5 and 32 is your total in that game. I already have my preseason package loaded up on the website. $199.99 gives you every preseason play that I release for one low price. And remember, last year, 56% winners in the National Football League. 4,000 units won between the NFL and college football. So if you missed out on last year, please don't miss out again in 2024. And for those that were with me last year, I expect you to be right on board again this week, starting with the preseason. Okay, on to your free plays for Sunday. Remember, these are probable pitchers, so please confirm before making your wager. First game in a day, 11:35 Eastern Time. 921, 922 is your rotation numbers. Cincinnati Reds minus $1.25 on the road. 7.5 under minus 20 is your total against the Tampa Bay Rays. Hunter Green 7-4, 3.14 ERA against Sean Armstrong 2-2, 5.64 ERA. Starters have not been yet confirmed on this, but I suspect they will be Hunter Green against Sean Armstrong, so I'm going with that. But again, make sure you do double check before you make your wager. We see 69% of the early money and 73% of the tickets on the Cincinnati Reds. I've always been a fan of Hunter Green. He is definitely susceptible to implosions at times, but he has absolute terrific stuff. We have seen that, for 2 or 3 years now, or 3 years now with the Cincinnati Reds. He was an all-star for the Reds as well. 133 Ks in his last 117 and a third innings this season. And I think he's really starting to realize his potential, what everybody could see with him. He has a 7-4 record, a 3.14 ERA as mentioned. But that to me doesn't tell the last story, the whole story, because if you just take his last 4 starts, he's been absolutely sensational. He's allowed just 2 earned runs and 24 2/3 innings. That's a 0.73 ERA in that time. And he was the 2017 first rounder, 30 Ks and just 11 hits allowed in those 4 games. So he is really at the peak of where he's been in his career, certainly where he's been in his career of late. As far as Armstrong is concerned, 2-2, 5.64 ERA. He'll be the opener. This is going to be a bullpen game. I'm going to take the Reds minus $1.25. Game number 2, 2:10 Eastern Time, 9:03, 9:04 is the rotation numbers. Miami Marlins against the Milwaukee Brewers. Brewers minus 205, 8.5 under minus 17. Kyle Tyler against Tobias Myers. Tyler's going to make his 5th start of the season, a 6 overall. Tobias Myers, 6-4, 3.14 ERA, is going to be making his 15th start this season. Another game that they haven't quite confirmed the starters on this, but from everything I see and everything I've been told, that's who's going to be on the mound to start this game. And it really hasn't stopped bettors from jumping on the Brewers as a big favorite here. Betting is split down the middle, 50-50. on the total, but 53% to the under in tickets. So just to say that again, it is betting on the Milwaukee Brewers. It's almost 9-1 at 10-1 at this point, but still not a lot of action. So I can't really say, well, 98% of the tickets or 98% of the money's on the Brewers. It's about 98-99% right now. So everything we've seen so far, even though Milwaukee's a massive favorite, they're going with Milwaukee in this one. 50-50 down the middle on the total, 53% to the under on the tickets. Tyler's another starter in this long list of Marlins starters this season where they have tried to find some way to patch up their starting rotation. Even A.J. Puck, who was just traded to the Arizona Diamondbacks, they started him for a while. That imploded. And now they have former Oklahoma Sooner Kyle Tyler on the mound. He's allowed 8 earned runs in 18 2/3 innings. That's a 3.86 ERA and 11 this year at the major league level. And then at AAA Jacksonville, he was 4-2 at 3.06 ERA and allowed 39 hits in 50 innings. That's pretty good numbers, and I've said it before that you can kind of take a little bit more stock in the International League AAA numbers than, of course, you can for the PCL numbers. So that's why I included those. Tobias Myers has allowed just 10 earned runs in his last 30 1/3 innings. That's a 2.97 ERA. I'm going to go under the total of 8.5 minus $1.15. And then your get-out game, 7:10 Eastern Time, 9/11, 9/12. New York Yankees against the Boston Red Sox. Sox minus $1.12, 9.5 under minus 15. Carlos Rodon against Tanner Houck. This is one of those games where I wanted to invoke that system. We've talked about this a couple days. It's been very good to us this year. It's kind of that contrarian system when you get two good teams together, and I kind of like to go against the public because a lot of times the public likes to go over on those type of games, and then I like to go the other way, but that's not what we're going to do here. We do see 70% of the money on the over, 71% of the tickets also on the over. Rodon's 10-7 this year, but if you watch the Yankees or Rodon when he's pitched, you know he has benefited from a ton of runs scored in support of those starts. In 21 starts this year, Rodon has enjoyed 4 runs or more 14 times and 5 or more 11 times. He's needed every one of those, allowing 30 earned runs in his last 34 innings. That's a 7.94 ERA. So yes, a pretty good record. Yes, he's benefited from a lot of runs. Tanner Houck, he's allowed 4 earned runs in 6 innings and 10 hits in his last outing. That was a 9-8 loss to the Rockies. In his last 4 starts, opponents are hitting .288, which is 64% higher than his season average. I'm going to go over the 9.5 minus $1.05. And before we go, here's tonight's handicapping tip. We go back over interleague numbers with an emphasis on teams that may thrive or suffer when it comes to interleague play. And then first, before we get to those teams, I just want to go over general interleague numbers. Favorites so far this year, 246 and 205. They got the better of the win percentage, over 41 games over 500. But minus 34.11 units lost. Underdogs, they have profited. And of course, the record is switched, 205 and 204, 246, but plus 16.91 units won. So underdogs, fantastic as far as interleague games have been in 2024. Home teams have also benefited from interleague games, 242 and 207, plus 3.10. That's a little bit of a profit, as opposed to the road teams, who are minus 19.21. Who are the best teams in interleague play? Well, the Milwaukee Brewers are the best team this year, 26 and 14, plus 9.44 units. That's a difference of 9.39 units, and plus plus 0.05 when we're talking about the difference between Milwaukee inside the National League versus outside the National League. Chicago Cubs 16 and 9 against the American League, plus 7 units. But minus 20.85 units is the difference, minus 13.85 units overall. The Tampa Bay Rays 18 and 10 in interleague play, plus 5.50 units. Minus 13.80 is the difference between inside and outside of their league. Tampa is minus 8.30 units when they're playing inside the American League. Oakland 14-13 plus 4.55 units against interleague teams or against teams in the National League. Minus 11.79 is the difference because they're 7.24 units to the negative against American League teams. Los Angeles Angels 16-16 plus 4 units against National League teams. That's a difference of 10.52 units because they're minus 6.52 units against the American League. And Colorado 15-19, 3.29 units to the black against American League teams. Minus 14.35 units is the difference between Colorado playing inside the league and then outside the league. And of course, inside the National League, they're minus 11.06 units. Who are the worst teams? Well, Chicago White Sox 10-5 or 10-25 outside the American League against National League teams, minus 3.46 units. That's a difference of 17.01 units, and of course a minus 28.45 units overall this season against American League teams. Baltimore 13-18. That's surprising. 13-18 against National League teams, minus 7.47 units. They're plus 12.51 units against the American League for a difference of 19.98 units. Miami 13-25, minus 7.21 units. 7.21 units. Minus 1.79 units is the difference because they're minus 5.42 units inside the National League. Texas 16-22 in the interleague games this year, minus 7.18 units. Minus 5.17 units is the difference between inside the American League and National League. Minus 2 inside the American League and then the National League. Minus 2.01 units is where they're at right now inside the American League. And then San Francisco 11-16 interleague against interleague teams this year, 5.30 units. Minus 4.99 units is the difference because they're minus 0.31 units against National League teams. And Arizona 15-17 against American League opponents, minus 4.77 units, minus 11.40 units against is the difference because inside the National League they're actually 6.53 units in the black. So that's a difference of 11.40 units. So the question was, which teams have the biggest differential between when they're playing inside the league versus when they're playing outside the league? And clearly, according to this, Chicago Cubs are 16-9 against American League teams, and this is really all you need to know. I know the numbers are a little bit confusing, but Chicago 16-9 outside of the National League against American League teams, plus 7 units, but minus 20.85 units is the difference because against National League teams they're minus 13.85 units. So that's a massive difference between the Cubs playing American League teams versus the Cubs playing National League teams. Number 2, the Baltimore Orioles, minus 7.47 units against National League teams, but plus 12.5 units, 5.1 units overall, and that's a difference of 19.98 units. And then number 3, the Chicago White Sox, who are just bad no matter who they play, there's a difference of 17.01 units, and that's basically it would be the same if they played more games against the National League because they're 10-25 against the National League, minus 11.47 units, 28.45 units overall loss. So that's a difference of 17.01 units. And that puts them in 3rd place. And I'm sure I've confused absolutely everybody, but the moral of the story is the Cubs do so much better against the American League than they do the National League. The White Sox are bad against everybody, and the Baltimore Orioles are so much better against the American League than they are when they play National League teams. So that's everything in a nutshell. If there's anything you'd like me to research, please let me know. I'd be more than happy to go through these numbers. If you have any questions about it, I might just answer it on the YouTube page, because sometimes it gets a little bit confusing when I'm just giving you out the numbers. So please, no matter what you want, just let me know. I'll go through the numbers and hopefully be able to help you out with your handicapping. That does it for your Sunday free plays and handicapping tip. Please go to pickdawgz.com right now. Get involved with one of my many available packages, including my all-access pass that gives you every play I release for one low price. Here's your Sunday free play recap. Cincinnati minus $1.25, Miami, Milwaukee under 8.5 minus 15, and the New York Yankees, Boston Red Sox over 9.5 minus $1.05. Let's go for another 3-0 night tonight. Been on a little bit of a roll lately, so actually since we started doing the show, we've been doing fantastic, but love those 3-0 nights. So make sure you jump on board on Sunday, and for everybody that did on Saturday, congratulations. That does it for today's show. Thank you to everyone who watches on a daily basis for Against the Public. I'm Dana Lane. All the best to you and your wagers on Sunday.